They threatened a quiet veteran. He brought the sheriff to their fishing event. When Maya moved into her family's old cabin, she just wanted quiet mornings by the lake. Instead, she got a violation notice and a threat to remove the old boat or face fines, but behind that boat was a secret the HOA never expected. The lake was hers, and the president, he'd been using her land to fund a luxury scam. She didn't scream, she didn't panic, she just gathered proof, and waited for the perfect moment. Stay till the end, because when she hits play on a hidden recording, everything explodes. After serving 20 years in the military, Elijah Cole wanted nothing more than peace and silence. His father had left him a small cabin by Stillwater Lake, along with one thing that meant the world, a wooden boat, hand-carved by his grandfather, who'd always said, "Water remembers who it belongs to." Elijah settled in quietly, rebuilding the dock, fixing the roof, and watching birds land on the lake each morning. But on day 5, a man in khakis and a HOA badge arrived with a warning. "This boat breaks HOA guidelines. Move it within 48 hours, or be fined daily." Elijah's eyes narrowed. That lake was his family's land, something his father made clear in every letter. He walked back inside, pulled out the old deed, and began connecting the dots. What he uncovered chilled him. The HOA, under a man named Harold Vex, had been hosting large fishing events, selling tickets, and even advertising private lake access to outsiders for years. They'd made thousands, but that wasn't all. Whispers around town spoke of a real estate scheme. Harold was quietly planning a vacation resort, claiming the lake was common property. Elijah's jaw clenched. They thought he was just another quiet neighbor, but Harold had underestimated a soldier who had fought real battles. Elijah wasn't afraid of rules written in ignorance. He was going to expose every lie. He stood at the edge of the dock that evening, staring out at the still water. That boat wasn't junk, it was legacy. They could try and push him, but they'd soon learn. He doesn't back down. But Elijah knew how to fight smart. He didn't threaten, didn't shout, didn't confront. Instead, he collected. Over 2 weeks, he placed hidden motion-triggered cameras around the lake and caught detailed footage of trespassing tournament fishermen, clearly marked with paid entry badges. At the same time, he reached out to his cousin Grace, digital forensics expert who uncovered email threads from Harold Vex, offering investors a shared private lake experience as part of his upcoming vacation home project. Elijah said nothing. He wanted every eye watching. When the truth hit, the HOA's Grand Summer Bass Challenge drew a crowd of over 150 people. Stands were set up. Entry tickets sold out. Harold gave a speech, all smiles and fake charm. That's when Elijah stepped onto the main dock, flanked by uniformed deputies, and held up the court order. "This lake is privately owned. You are trespassing. This event is illegal." Harold laughed nervously. "You don't scare anyone, soldier boy." Without replying, Elijah clicked a Bluetooth speaker. Harold's voice played loud and clear. "The old guy won't stop us. He probably doesn't even know we're using his lake." The crowd turned. Angry whispers became yells. Elijah pulled out laminated copies of the land deed and passed them around. Someone shouted, "We paid for this." The energy flipped instantly. Chaos. People demanded refunds. Volunteers walked away. The event collapsed in minutes. Elijah didn't celebrate. He just looked across the water. The fight wasn't over yet, but the first strike was a clean one. After the explosive fallout, Harold Vex disappeared from town, leaving behind a mess of angry emails, unpaid debts, and a homeowners association in shambles. Residents lined up outside Elijah's door, apologizing, some embarrassed, others angry for being fooled for so long. They demanded their lake usage fees, back fees, Harold had been pocketing while lying about lake access. Elijah listened quietly, but made one thing clear: he wasn't after money, revenge, or praise. He wanted peace. Instead of fencing off the lake or turning it into a private retreat, Elijah worked with a veterans group and an environmental agency to declare the area a peace reserve, a space for reflection, fishing, healing, and quiet connection with nature, something his grandfather always believed in. A month later, Elijah stood on the old dock as the sun set. In his hand, an old, folded photo found in his father's war chest. It showed his grandfather sitting in the very same wooden boat, head slightly bowed, fishing rod in hand. Written on the bottom edge were the words, "Peace comes to those who protect, not those who pretend." Elijah placed the photo inside a wooden frame at the cabin's entrance. That boat, once called a violation, had become a symbol, a reminder that one man with truth and honor can break even the most arrogant system. Now the lake welcomed all, but under rules of respect, not greed. The HOA was gone. The lies were buried, but the water was finally free.